Good evening and welcome out to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. I'll be taking you through the tackle trading website this evening, showing you around a little bit, letting you know what we're doing, when we're doing it, where you can find it, so you can get to know us a little bit better and also get better use out of the tackle trading platform. So let's dive right in and get started. A couple things really quick before we do that you can add to your weekly routine. Number one is the Huddle podcast. At the end of the week, we'll tackle the top 10 stories in the market that week in a fast and fun and straight to the point manner. So if you're not following the market day in to day out, like maybe some other traders are, you can stay on top of it. So that's the Huddle podcast at the end of the trading week. You'll also find the Trading Justice podcast each week. I'm going to hop over into the Trade Center right now because you will find a link to tradingjustice.com in here. That is just tradingjustice.com. Each week, the guys do the Trading Justice podcast. It's an awesome podcast, a much more long form podcast than the Huddle. We're talking markets, talking trading, all of that good stuff. Very informative, very good addition to a weekly routine. You can listen to it directly at tradingjustice.com. That's what I do. But if you are more up with the times, I suppose you can catch it on all of the major podcast providers as well. The trading over on Trading Justice, you will also find a fantastic monthly newsletter that is very much worth the read as well. So a few things that can help with that daily or weekly, routine, and be a little bit of fun as well in the Huddle podcast and the Trading Justice podcast. Definitely two good additions to your weekly routine. With that said, let's dive into the tackle trading side of things. I break tackle trading down into three core areas when I'm explaining it. I break it down into things that you can do on your own. That's going to be courses. That's going to be some of our tools, some blogs, things of that nature. Then things that you can do with others, basically the schedule, right? What shows are we doing and when are we doing them? And lastly, our weekend reports, our tackle newsletter, our stock options and commodity reports. So that'll be kind of the way we come at it here this evening as well. To me, tackle trading is just a group of traders that have come together to share ideas and help each other out. In the simplest terms, it's trading can feel lonely for a lot of us because for most of us, our next door neighbor doesn't want to talk trading. Maybe your friend or buddy or wife or husband or whoever doesn't want to talk trading with you. Well, you'll never have that issue here at Tackle Trading. We are definitely a group of like-minded individuals. And while nobody can ever make anybody's trades for them, I can't make yours for you, you can't make mine for me, we can share ideas, we can share what's working, what's not. If you have a question that I have the answer to, I'd be happy to share it. I would imagine you would probably say the same thing. So to me, that's what tackle trading really is. But it makes for a much better explanation when we kind of approach it the way I'm about to do so. So let's kind of start with that first area, and that's the things that you can do on your own. And to me, what really jumps to the top of my mind when I think about that is courses. In the courses tab, you will find the 7-step guide to trading. This is a short, about a 2-hour course. It'll do a couple things. One, it'll kind of let you in on kind of the tackle way. No two traders are exactly the same, and that's okay, right? We want to build our own trading plans that fit us and our style and our, risk tolerance and how much time we're putting in and all of that fun stuff. But I think philosophically here at Tackle Trading, we do share some core beliefs. We believe in starting at the top of the markets and taking that top-down approach, working from the indexes into the sectors, into the industries, and into our stocks. Of course, matching the strategy to go along with our read of the situation, right? If I'm really, really bullish, I might not want to do an out of the money credit spread, just as a little example. We're big watch list traders here at Tackle Trading. So how do we find and kind of prep these trades ahead of time so we're ready if we get the signals that we're looking for, planning, placing, and managing the trade, and of course, journaling the trade. So in a lot of ways, the 7-step guide to trading will kind of, give you a better idea of the tackle approach to trading. If you're a newer trader in particular, it will also probably help a lot with giving you a little bit of structure in routine. When most of us are new traders, we're doing a lot, but we've never done it before. And so we can be a little bit all over the map. Having a little bit of a roadmap can be very, very helpful. And even if you're a grizzled veteran in the markets, you probably have a daily routine and all of that stuff down, but maybe you can get an idea or two that can make that routine just a little bit smoother. Seven-step guide to trading is definitely worth checking out, whether you're new or an old trader or anything in between. Of course, as traders, charts are our friends, right? We spend a lot of time looking at charts, and that's exactly what we're going to discuss in Technical Analysis 101. Charts, charts, and more charts. Identifying support, resistance, trend, momentum, all of that good stuff, right? That's so important. And what's great about technical analysis is that's going to apply to all of us, regardless of our time frames, whether you're, day trader, swing trader, position trader, regardless of the product. Maybe you like the futures market, maybe you just stick with equities, maybe you like doing cash flow based systems. No matter what time frame and what style of trading we use, technical analysis is going to be tremendously useful. And the better we can get at that, the better I think everything else is going to be as well. So technical analysis, again, whether you're a new or old trader, I've never met anybody, myself included, that's always right on their technical analysis. There's always something more that we can learn. Would definitely encourage you to check out Technical Analysis 101. If you're a newer trader, that along with the 7-step guide to trading can be a really great place to start and give you a little bit of focus. We're certainly option traders here at Tackle Trading. We're fans of a lot of cash flow based systems. And the Option 101 course, we're really going to talk less about the different strategies and more about what's going on when you buy or sell that call or put option. What factors are influencing its price? Why is it doing the things it's doing? The better we can understand the contract, I think the better we're going to understand the strategies that we're trading with those contracts. So Options 101 is going to be a really good place to start if you're just getting into options, or even if you're, an intermediate option trader. It really is important to understand what's kind of going on behind the scenes with those options. I'm a firm believer in when you truly understand why they're doing the things that they're doing, the strategies are going to be a lot easier to pick up. If you've ever been interested in learning more about the futures or the Forex markets, but not exactly known where to start, we do have introduction courses into those markets as well. Not everybody wants to trade the futures market. Not everybody likes to trade Forex, and that's fine. But I never want anybody to feel like they can't trade those markets. They're too big for them or anything along those lines. So if you've ever been interested in learning a little bit more about either or both of those marketplaces, these courses can be a great place to start, to get you started, to see if it's something that you want to explore a little bit further, or maybe it's not for you, or maybe it's not for you right now. No shame in checking it out. Regardless of what you're trading, we are systems-based traders, right? We need clear rules governing our actions, when we're doing things, how much we're allocating to them, how we're getting in and out and managing and all of that fun stuff. The system development course is a fantastic course to help train you to approach your trading like that. I think everybody agrees we need rules and stuff like that. I've never heard anybody say, "Now let's just wing it and hope for the best." But it's one thing to say it, another thing to do it. A lot of folks, myself included, struggled with that aspect of trading. The system development course will train you to approach your trading from that point of view. I cannot recommend it enough. Wherever you are in the trading journey, maybe you're a grizzled veteran, maybe you're brand new, maybe you just trade Forex, maybe you just trade cash flow. I don't know what you do, but whatever it is you're doing, I would encourage you to make some time to go through that System Development 101 course. I think you'll absolutely love it, and I think it will make you a better trader and give you a much better idea of how to approach systematic trading. You will notice we have a handful of premium systems in here as well. These are they're complete put together systems. It's a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. We're not going to spend too much time, but just so you know what they are, the Tackle 25 is a group of stocks we put together each year so we can do covered calls throughout the year. So really planning on covered calling those stocks. The STEP system is our swing trading system. It stands for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow condor system, another cash flow system on the Russell 2000 this time, and bear market survival guide, kind of taming out that volatility in bearish market turns, dealing with those bearish market conditions when we get into them. If you'd like any more information on any of those premium systems, you can get it over in the store tab. You can also feel free to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com, and we'd be happy to get you some more information on any of those premium systems. In addition to courses, we do regular blogs, whether it's in video or written format, just another way that we can share ideas with members of our community, whether it's, more options in the option theory blog, more charting in the Tales of Technician blog, working with Coach Greg, Old Money Homes over in the Rookie Corner, taking concepts kind of from the ground up and building them from the very beginning, hearing from our awesome female traders in the Women in Trading blog. So these are just going to be another way that we can, answer questions that our team is having, share ideas with our team, all of that fun stuff. So, not everything has to be a webinar or a long course or anything along those lines. So definitely be on the lookout for those blogs. Be a really good addition to your weekly routine, and hopefully you'll get some really good ideas from them each week as well. Over in the Trade Center, you will find a link to our clubhouse. That's kind of our own social media page, for lack of a really better way to put it. Just trading, it's just us, where you can ask questions to members of the team, and we can just, again, bounce ideas around with one another, help each other out. You'll find a link to our trading glossary, a link to our trading journals, which we'll talk a little bit more about here shortly. You will also find a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook, and here in the playbook is where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We're going to break our strategy selection into 3 core areas based on the option Greeks: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Delta is our directional playbook, right? I think the stock's going from 50 to 55, from 100 to 90. I expect it to go from point A to point B. So, of course, that would include buying or selling stock, buying call or put options, debit spreads, ratio spreads, diagonal spreads, basically movement-based strategies. Then we're going to have our cash flow or our theta playbook. What's awesome about options is we can sell them and bring in that premium up front and take advantage of the only guarantee there is, which is time passes, right? So that's going to be things like selling covered calls, selling naked puts, doing credit spreads, doing iron condors. We certainly are big fans of cash flow systems here, I would say, as a collective unit at Tackle Trading. And then lastly, you're going to have the Vega or the volatility playbook, where we're kind of playing the expected volatility of the stock. I always like to use earnings as an example, because I think that's the most sensible time from my point of view, right? That's not to say that I'm always right, but that's just when I like these type of strategies the best. We maybe we have a stock that historically makes big moves on its earnings report. While there's no way we can know if it's going to be a good or a bad report, we might, based off of the stock's history of moving a lot come earnings season, maybe we want to build a trade that reflects, hey, just move a lot one way or the other, just history repeat itself, and let's profit. So these are going to be our volatility based trades: strangles, straddles, short strangles, etc. In all of these, you will find a detailed video going over what the strategy is, why you would choose the strategy, how you would do the strategy, our rules for the strategy. We will put in an example order on the Thinkorswim platform too, if you are using TOS and need some help from that point of view. There's also a little downloadable PDF, easy cheat sheet to the rules. So you can, what's my delta rule? What's my theta rule? Easy access as you're getting to know those strategies. You'll have a lot of fun here in the playbook. Don't feel like you have to learn it all at once. It can be a little overwhelming, especially if you're newer to options. To try to learn 30 different strategies at once can be a little difficult. So I speak from experience there. I tried to learn them all at the same time when I first got into options. Wasn't the best idea I ever had. If we go directly into the Trade Center, this will kind of bring you to a what's up at Tackle Trading page. What's our next show, our recent posts, our most recent report, most recent tweet. There is a watch list function that you can use in here as well if you would like to do so. Say you want to add Domino's Pizza to your watch list. I'm just going to throw the symbol in there. I'll just left click it. I'm going to hit this plus button, and now that's going to be in my watch list until I'm ready to hit the minus button and say, okay, I don't need you anymore, Domino's. I'll get rid of you. Just an easy way, so you don't always have to log into your charting platform, which is oftentimes going to be your brokerage account, if you just want to quickly check what's going on within stocks that you are following. There's going to be either a live showing or a replay to one of our YouTube webinars. Typically, that's going to be the halftime report, because we're doing that each Monday through Friday, as we'll talk about here in a couple. But it might be this webinar, might be our Trade Masters webinar. So it'll either live showing if we are live, or a replay if we are not live. Where you are in any courses. So if you are in module 2, 7 minutes in on the futures course, You could pick right back up where you left off without having to kind of dig around where exactly did I leave. So you can get right back to business. A little mini calendar for the upcoming days ahead. So you kind of know what the schedule is looking like. So it really is kind of a what's up page, if you will. You're also going to find a variety of trading tools in here. You'll find the market skyline. Here in the market skyline, you're going to find all of the big stuff on one page. So we're going to have all our indexes. These are going to be the futures contracts, of course, for the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell. You can have Bitcoin, the VIX, the emerging market ETF, our major commodities, gold, silver, copper, crude, etc., as well as the sector spider ETFs. These are all really important parts of a daily routine, and you'll definitely, when you go through the first module in the 7-step guide to trading, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But they're a great addition to the daily routine. Doesn't have to be on this page, but I think you'll, if you are going through this process, each day, I think you'll find that it pays dividends over the course of time. We just wanted to have all of the big stuff on one page, if you will, so we don't have to do a ton of bouncing around. There's also a link to the FinViz heat maps. This will bring you just to finviz.com for the S&P 500 heat map for the day. I am not a subscriber, so I have to click off some ads sometimes, but that's all right. Just a different approach, just a different view of the market. Hey, what areas were standing out today? Well, just by looking at this thing, it was a defensive day. Healthcare, the staple stocks, real estate, utilities. That's where the money was going today. It was coming out of technology and financials and industrials and the cyclical side of the market. So, well, couldn't make a trade off of a color, if you will. It can generate some ideas. Oh, maybe I should go take a closer look at some of the stocks within the healthcare sector that are in my watch list, see if they're shaping up. The default is set to a 1-day performance. There's a little customization here. You can look at the weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly performance, certain fundamental ratios. So there is a little customization there on that FinViz heat map as well. Just another way to help generate trade ideas, a little different approach, right? We look at a lot of charts as traders. Sometimes that visual, hey, these are areas we're in the green, these areas we're in the red, can help generate some ideas. You're going to find a news aggregator in here as well. What this is going to do is go through some of the bigger financial sites. A lot of times you're going to see Market Watch, Wall Street Journal, The Times, CNBC. I'm not surprised to kind of see those names coming up here. It's just going to go through these sites, grab their headlines, get them in an orderly fashion. So I can just kind of scroll down this guy. And if a story catches my attention, then I can read it. I mean, I could do this by going to wallstreetjournal.com and then, clicking around and then going to CNBC and clicking around and then going to Market Watch. This is really just designed to make it easier on us, to save us some time, to save us some bouncing around, if you will. Pretty helpful. You'll find a link to the economic calendar so you can see what's on the docket for the upcoming day or the upcoming week that might impact the market. For example, our Fed meeting this week, that might impact the market. That's something that we probably as traders need to be aware of. You'll find a link to our market reports, which you'll also find in this drop down up here. We'll talk about them in a couple. You'll find a link, we're going to come back to trade journals in just a minute, to the compounding gains calculator to help you really see the compounding power of money, a chart if you ever need one, another link to our glossary, a link to our search tool if you ever need it. That's also this little magnifying glass right up here. And I'll tell you, the search tool is really smart. So if you're looking for more information on a particular subject, an easy place to start is just go into the search, type covered call, or poor boy covered call, or bull put spread, or whatever it might be. Odds are there's going to be a lot of content, whether it's blogs or videos or discussions on that subject. It can be an easy way to find things that interest you, for sure. You will also find a link to the trade journals in here. I'm going to go ahead and smack this one. Again, when we were looking at the drop down in the Trade Center, there's also a link to our trade journals. I like to come in the way we are through the Trade Center myself, because this will bring you directly to the tutorial page. If you need some help, I know not everybody is a spreadsheet person. Some, spreadsheet people So why do you need some help? But for those of us who aren't spreadsheet people, we can use a helping hand when we're getting to know some of these the tricks you can do on these spreadsheets. They're really, really awesome. If we come into it this way, you can just scroll down a little bit. We have 3 different journals. We have the trade journal. That's where we can kind of, hey, what did we do? When did we do it? Right? It's going to track all of that. We just need to let it know what we did and when we did it. It's going to really help us refine our trading, stay organized, all of that good stuff. You'll find this data research tool where we can build and compare our different cash flow strategies. You'll find the portfolio journal to help you stay organized. If you've got 17 trades going on right now that you've made over the last 6 weeks, it might be a little difficult to know exactly where you are in the market. So the portfolio journal is designed to help you from that side of things. If you come into it the way we are right now, just select the tab that you want and you can download that journal directly from here. You again can also just get them in the download. If you're not journaling your trades yet, no time like the present. It will make you a better trader over time. It will save and then ultimately make you money, because every trade we make is data if we let it be. We just got to let it be, right? Those trading journals can really make a huge difference from that point of view. So those are some of the things that you can kind of do on your own, if you will. Some of the different tools here. Hopefully I explained them well to you, and hopefully got a better idea of what's going on in all of these things. Let's talk a little bit about that second area, and that's the things that you can do with others. We have a few different things going on here. We do offer our premium trading labs. These are subscription products. We have 3 different labs with Coach Mark, Coach Emily, and Coach Tyler, where they get together each week in a mastermind group with their team. They've got a private Discord channel. If you want some more information, I've heard great feedback. They're relatively new, but I've heard great feedback on all 3 trading labs. If you'd like some more information, you can get that in the store. We'd be happy to get you set up with a free trial for that as well. If you are interested, just let us know. Be happy to help you on that side of things. For our pro members, we start each day in our Traders Lounge at 11 a.m. Eastern. We get together here for an hour and basically just answer our team's questions, right? And so whatever they might be, maybe you got a trade set up you want to share with the team and see if you're out on an island thinking that breakout looks nice. Maybe you're struggling with a particular strategy. Maybe you just having a hard time managing your covered calls when the stocks are moving. Maybe you just can't wrap your head around a bull put spread. We can talk about that. Maybe you're struggling with daily routine. Maybe you've got a trade going and you want to bounce some management ideas around. I mean, really, the lounge is designed for our team's questions, whatever they might be. Nothing is too basic and nothing is too advanced for us there in that Traders Lounge. We do that every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. You're always welcome. Your questions are always welcome. Everybody's on the same side, so nobody's going to, judge or be mad or anything like that if you ask some questions. That's what it is there for. We're not going to regularly record the Traders Lounge because, quite bluntly, nobody's going to go back and watch one from 6 months ago. But we will record little snippets of those lounges and get them posted in here for our team. Things that are going to be just as useful 6 months from now as they are today. And if your schedule is such as maybe you're at work at 11 a.m. Eastern each market day and you can't get into the lounge, well, we'll have some other options for you. One thing that you can do is let us know, hey, could you talk about this and snip it for me? You absolutely going to do our best to accommodate our team. So, don't hesitate to reach out. So that's going to be the Traders Lounge each market morning. So not quite Monday through Friday, most Monday through Fridays, right? But more accurately, each market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. That'll go for an hour. Then shortly after that's over at 12:30, we're going to head over to our YouTube channel for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live looking at the market, talk about what's going on in the market today, how is it impacting our charts, take that top-down approach, what's going on in the indexes, what's going on in the sectors, what's going on in the major commodities, stocks in the news, all of that stuff to go through that daily routine to stay on top of the market. That is live on YouTube each market day at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, being on YouTube, once the live stream is over, it will, of course, automatically populate to our channel. So between the lounge here at Tackle Trading and the halftime report over on our YouTube channel, we will be working the markets with our team each and every trading day. Then we're going to have our evening show as well. We're going to have our flagship show, at least I would consider it the flagship show, and that's the Coaches Show on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're couple days into the trading week, right? On Tuesday nights, Monday and Tuesday have passed. We can do a quick market skyline. Hey, is anything standing out, whether it's from a bullish, bearish, or cash flow perspective, to the different coaches here at Tackle Trading, so we can kind of update what's going on in the market as a whole. But what I love the most about the Coaches Show is it allows us to take one of the many things. I mean, there's so many things we could talk about in trading, right? There's whether it's strategies, indicators, chart patterns, portfolio design, protection, management, stop loss placement, entry techniques. I mean, there's a million things that we could talk about. The Coaches Show allows us to narrow it in on something that's topical to the market today and have an in-depth discussion on that one thing. It really is a great way to get to know some of these things that are out there in the market, and get a better idea of whether there's something that you want to incorporate or not into your trading. It's definitely something I would strongly suggest making time for each week. We certainly understand schedules are scheduled. So while we'd love to have you live on Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, it will be recorded and archived. So if you can't make it, if you need to rewatch it, if you want to watch an episode from 3 months ago on a subject that interests you, very easy to do. You'll find all of that there in the link. So that's the Coaches Show, Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our cash flow club. That's going to be a little more narrowly focused, as the name would suggest, on those cash flow strategies, building and managing those credit spreads, those naked puts, those covered calls, all about cash flow on Thursday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern in the Cash Flow Club, just like the Coaches Show, recorded, archived. You can always go back to catch any episodes or rewatch it or catch it on Saturday morning if that's more convenient for you. And whatever works for you is fine on that side of things. For each of our premium systems, the Tackle 25, the Step System, the Condors, and the Bear Market Survival Guide, we meet with members of those teams each month in a mastermind group. We invite our pro members to join us in there as well. So you'll have the Tackle 25 mastermind group some Monday nights. Sometimes you'll have the Step System, sometimes Condors. We do invite our pro members to join us in those mastermind groups. And you will find which ones are going on each week in the events calendar, which we'll look at here shortly. We also have a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. I have never gone, nor will I ever get to go, but that is okay. I have no doubt. I know the team. I know that they're in there working hard and having a good time while they're doing so. So if you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, I would strongly suggest getting up to date with the Women in Trading group here at Tackle Trading. I think you'll meet some awesome people. You'll get some great ideas. I think it will be very much worth your time. We'll keep you posted. We'll make sure that we highlight when that event is coming up. Sorry, fellas, you'll have to find something else to do that day, just like I do, but that is okay. We certainly are always going to support our awesome women at Tackle Trading here. So that's going to be kind of the schedule. I'm going to hop over to the events calendar real quick, and we'll just talk a little bit about this. As you're getting to know us, you'll find that for the most part, we are pretty regimented. What this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, etc. While you're getting to know us, or if you just need easy access to the link, you can just easily come into the events calendar. What's the next on the docket? Well, we got our Tackle 25 Mastermind group coming up here in about an hour. About an hour from now, I'll click on that. I'll get my link and I'll be able to join the mastermind group. So it's an easy way to see what's on the schedule for today, as well as get the information to get you into that meeting once we are up and running. So pretty helpful little tool for sure. So that's going to be the schedule, kind of an overly simplified way to think about it. And it is an overly simplified way, make no mistake about it. But the morning lounge is really for our team's questions. It's really for your Q&A. What do you need today? What do you need to go over? What do you need to look at? We're going to let that dictate what we're talking about each day. The halftime report is really all about that daily routine, taking that, staying on top of the market, working through the market one step of it at a time. And then our evening shows are really where we can take that, put that teacher's hat on a little bit, take that deeper dive, onto these, into these subjects that are so important to us here as traders. And that's where we can really kind of, do the teaching side of things. Again, that's an overly simplified way to look at it for sure, because I think there's going to be a little crossover in everything, but maybe that can help you as you get to know us a little bit better, kind of, organize them a little bit more. We will keep you plenty busy here at Tackle Trading. You're welcome to join us in all of this stuff. You're welcome to prioritize what's most important to you as a trader, but we definitely will be working with the team each and every week in a lot of different capacities. So that's going to be the schedule, if you will. Now let's talk a little bit about the reports. On Friday, what we're doing as a group of coaches here at Tackle Trading is getting together in what we refer to as our scouting report meeting, where we're just kind of talking about the markets, how we're seeing them, how we're ranking them, how we're approaching them, stocks that we're following in our watch list, we're looking for new trading opportunities. And out of that meeting comes our reports, our newsletter, stock, option, and commodities reports. We'll get these to the team by Saturday afternoon, so they have plenty of time to get through any or all of them before the market opens back up. Let's start with the newsletter. This is starting to the top of the market, right? That first step in that 7-step guide to trading. Once again, it's very important to us here at Tackle Trading that that's the approach that we take. And that's exactly what we're doing in the weekly newsletter. So here in the newsletter, we'll kind of talk about the week that was, the big storylines, what was going on in the market this past week, to make sure you're caught up and on top of everything as far as what did happen, kind of where we at from a seasonality point of view, sector focus, volatility, all of that stuff, kind of catch up, make sure you're there. Of course, we'll have a video, detailing this and going through all of it for the team. Just right down here, we'll highlight the economic calendar, anything on the docket that we need to be paying close attention to. Yeah, this week, Fed rate decision, right? That can absolutely impact the market, and we want to be aware of it, right? Again, we'll talk you through all of this stuff in the video portion as well. Where is the overall broad market, be the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell? How are we seeing them as we're going into the upcoming week? The ETFs that track those, or at least the big ETFs that track those, if you ever need them, DIA for the Dow Jones, QQQ for the NASDAQ, IWM for the RUT, and SPY for the S&P 500. Take a look at the internals of the market. Going to look at over 8,000 stocks to see, how many are putting in new highs versus how many are putting in new lows, to get a better idea of the internal strength of the market. That, along with the advanced decliners, really going to help us get a better idea of, what's really happening in the market at any given time. We're also going to rank the sectors each week as well. Now, what you're going to see here on the scoreboard here, you'll see that it's in a football field with, between the 40s is a neutral rating. Between 40 to 20 is going to be slightly bullish or slightly bearish or plus or minus 1. 20 to the goal line is going to be +2 or bullish or bearish. And then 3, it's very, very unlikely that you ever see us put an entire sector or an entire market in that aggressive of territory. That's not really who we are. That's certainly not who I am. Stock can go into plus or 3 all the time, and oftentimes does from a trading point of view, but it's really a lot more difficult to put an entire sector into it. But you never say never, so that would be in the end zone at plus or minus 3. Now, what we're doing is we're going through, you'll notice these are the sector spider ETFs, and if you're not familiar with them, let's just talk for just a second about what they are, because they're important to what we're doing. I think they can be a good addition to your daily routine. The sector spiders, you'll find them down here. These are ETFs. What they do is they'll go into the S&P 500 and pull out stocks, on a sector by sector basis. So XLRE, for example, is the real estate sector. XLE is the energy sector. XLK is the technology sector, right? So we go into the S&P 500, not we, the ETF provider, goes in the S&P 500 and pulls out just the technology stocks. Because it's coming from the S&P, it's going to be weighted like the S&P is. It's going to put those stocks into a portfolio, and this is going to give us a more isolated look at the technology sector, at the real estate sector, at the healthcare sector, right? Now, these are ETFs, meaning we can trade them. These are optionable ETFs. If you would like more information about the ETFs themselves, I always say go straight to the source, go to the ETF provider. Their website is just sectorspdr.com. And you can see, who's in those, how they're built, all of that fun stuff. You'll notice that we're ranking them based off of, on our scoreboard, XLV, XLP, XLK, etc. How we're doing that, though, is we're going through the stocks that make up those. So we're not ranking just XLK and its chart, right? We're going through the stocks that make up that sector as we're ranking the sectors. You'll notice also that our sectors are going to be put into three categories. You're going to have the growth oriented areas of the market, that's technology, discretionary, and communications. The cyclical side of the market, that's going to be your financials, your industrials, your energy, and your basic material stocks. And then the defensive side, that's going to be healthcare, staples, real estate, and utilities. So we're going to kind of put them together based off of kind of the themes that these sectors tend to work under. We'll be moving them up or down, or sometimes leaving them in the same place, of course. We'll be adjusting each week based off of what we're seeing on the stocks that make up these ETFs, that make up these sectors. And we'll be sliding it, moving it up, moving it down a little bit. Again, we'll talk you through kind of the thought process and all of that in the video portion, but the scoreboard itself can be a very quick, easy way to kind of see, what do we like a little more? What do we like a little less? What do we like in the same? What are we, staying away from a bullish point of view or a bearish point of view, etc. So hopefully that explains that. It's a big part of what we do. We'll definitely be talking a lot about that here at Tackle Trading. At the end of our meeting, we do our rapid fire. It's a lot of fun. What we do is, we're talking about a lot of setups. We'll kind of find when we get into our stock and option report talk, but each coach will share their favorite bullish and their favorite bearish trade setup from our weekly reports and just share that with the team, what they like about those. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to end the meeting with a lot of high energy. I think all of us coaches like to do it. It's a lot of fun to share that. It really is just fun, right? Of course, but it's just a really, nice. I think it seems like folks have enjoyed it. A little addition. We've done it for a couple of months or thereabouts now. It's a lot of fun. We like it. Seems like our community likes it. Just another fun way to share our trade ideas with members of the team. If you're a pro member, we have our Discord, and I certainly invite you to join us over there. You can find a link to that, or we can get you set up. Just send us an email. You'll find a link to the Discord channel here in the newsletter and the stock and the option report, probably some other places as well. It's a great way to be able to stay in touch with the team throughout the trading day and throughout the trading week. It's been a really good addition since we've got it up and running. Very active, a lot of awesome people over there as well. So if you're a pro member, come on over and join us on Discord. There'll be a friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? And when I say it on a Monday night, I'm like, of course, if I'm, really aggressive, I'm going to use a more aggressive technique, right? But that's the Monday night. I don't have to make a decision right now. In the heat of battle, sometimes we can get into our head that I'm going to sell a naked put, or I'm going to go buy me a bull call spread. And, we're all human. We don't want to do that though, right? It's just a gentle reminder to make sure that we're matching the situation to the right strategy, right? There's going to be a pre-built scanner in here as well. So if a particular area has caught your attention, maybe you like the strength that you've seen in the defensive sector today and healthcare stood out to you, this is going to bring you again back to FinViz. This is going to bring you to a pre-built scanner where you're going to find a list of what I refer to as trader-friendly stocks. And what I mean when I say that is these are stocks that have plenty of liquidity, so it's very easy to trade shares. They're shortable, so if I'm playing it to the short side, I'm going to be able to do that. They're optionable. Now, just because a stock has options doesn't mean those options are particularly friendly to trade. We will want to double check, and if you don't know how to do that, you will learn about that in that Options 101 course. I would say as a whole, these are pretty friendly to trade with options, but there are absolutely going to be some names in here I would never touch with options personally, and I doubt that I am alone. But whether it's through equity or options, I'm going to be able to put together a trade on anything in here that catches my attention one way or the other, right? And what it's going to do is just going to kind of get these charts side by side so I can kind of do a, quick bird's eye view of anything catching out. Maybe I like this, maybe developing cup and handle pattern that may be developing on Lily. I would never build make a trade off of this little tiny bird's eye chart, but I can say, that's interesting. I'll actually go look at it later tonight in my actual charting platform, see if there's a trade there for tonight, or if there's something I want to add for my watch list. Maybe you prefer the DHR, breakout candidate. or maybe you like the bearish retracement that we're seeing on MDT. There's going to be a very easy, fast way to quickly go through some stocks in an area that for whatever reason has caught your attention to go take a closer look at, right? So just designed to save you some time and be able to quickly navigate some watch list management. So of course, we'll have that for every one of the sectors. Just a quick world watch, what's going on with the all world and the emerging markets ETFs, as well as the dollar, and final thoughts for the trading week. It's a really big part, again, of what we do. You always want to start with the newsletter because that's kind of, starting at the top of the market, right? That first step in that 7-step guide to trading. That is the newsletter. Then you're going to have the stock option commodity report. Coach Mark typically does the commodity report, does a great job updating the team on what's going on both technically, fundamentally, and from a storyline standpoint. Over in the commodities market, there's a lot of great things we can do in the commodities market, even if we're not trading over in the futures market and trading gold or copper or crude or whatever. There's a lot of things that we can do through the equity markets to take advantage of movements or lack thereof of some of those products over in the commodities world. Coach Mark does a great job keeping the team up to date with not just the technicals, but also kind of what's going on fundamentally and thematically within those areas. The stock and option report are going to be built fairly similar to one another in the sense that each week we want to make sure our team has some quality technical setups in their watch list, whether it's bullish or bearish or both going into the week. So and this is going to be true for the stock or the option report, right? So, American Tower, a little bit of coming out of a triangle type of a pattern, right? Working into a little bit of reversal. AOS, a little bit of a breakout candidate. On the bear side of things, Foot Locker, a breakdown candidate. Momo, a bearish retracement candidate going into the weekend. So we want to make sure our team has quality trade setups for their watch list each week, whether they're trading stock, options, or both. The way that we're going to get these into the watch list are going to be the same, whether it's the stock or the option report. Where it's going to differ, of course, is number one, just, we might have a stock in the option report that doesn't have particularly liquid options. Now, you can always double check, if you'd prefer to trade options on Foot Locker, you can always go double check those options and see if it's something you'd be comfortable with. And if it is, great. And if it's not, that's okay too, right? But maybe the options, it's not optionable, or maybe the options that are available are just not friendly at all to trade. And if you've ever been stuck in an illiquid option, you don't need me to tell you that it's not any fun. If you haven't, I wouldn't suggest getting stuck in an illiquid option. It is not fun, I assure you on it. It might be because of the price, though. It might be because it's the price of the stock itself might be why it's here in the stock report. In the option report, everything there, we at least would be comfortable trading options on. We're comfortable with liquidity and all of that good stuff on the option side of things. In the discussion side, in the video format, we're also going to see a little bit of separation because in the option report, we're going to be talking a little bit more about strategy selection, right? This might be a scenario would make sense for a poor boy covered call, or this might make sense, to sell naked puts or to sell bull put spreads versus, bull call spreads, for example. So we'll talk a lot more about kind of the strategy selection side in the option report. Of course, in the stock report, we're going to talk a lot more about the process side because we're coming at it from a stock perspective, right? So stop loss placement, technical analysis, entries, management, all of that good stuff. All of that stuff's important, whether or not you're trading stock or options, right? The market doesn't care that I decided to buy a put instead of sell short. I care tremendously, but nobody else does, right? But the discussion that we'll have in the video portion, that's where you're really going to see the separation. But in the watch list itself, a good trade setup is a good trade setup, right? We want to highlight some setups for our team each and every week. The way most people use these reports is they'll take the stocks that they like, the setups that they like, whether it's a particular sector that they like going into the week or don't like going into the week, whether it's a particular price, whether it lines up nicely for an option play, cash flow play. People are going to have their reasons why they want to add some things and not others. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? We could add them all, right? But I don't think most people do. We'll kind of, pick the setups that we like, that resonate with us for whatever reason, add them to our watch list and, keep an eye on the rest, sure, right? But probably, just wish them the best. But there's not a wrong way to use this. We just want to make sure that our team has quality technical candidates each and every week that they have easy access to from a watch list point of view. Couple of things that you can do in here as well. Say, for example, I'll use Otis as an example here. We've got the trading view charts built into a lot of things, as you've noticed here tonight, I'm sure. So just a couple of quick things that you can do with these trading view charts. If you want to hide the watch list to get a little more chart, you can just hit that widget button. That'll hide it. Hit it again, it'll bring it back. You can manipulate the chart, scrolling up, zoom it in, scroll it down, zoom it out. If you hold your left mouse button down in the chart, you can kind of back and forth it as well. So you can get a size. You can do the same thing over in the, the price, scrunch it down, scrunch it up, basically to manipulate the chart so it's, comfortable for your eyes, right? Going into it. If you want to add an indicator or two, that indicator button's right here. I like to add the ATR myself. Do note that these are not going to save. So if I leave this page and come back, this ATR is not coming back with me. So before you add a whole bunch of indicators, do be aware of that. If I want to scrunch the indicator down or size it out, whichever way, just kind of left click between the volume and the indicator, and then I can scrunch up or down as I see fit. It's going to be defaulted, of course, as you can clearly see, to the candlesticks. But if for whatever reason you prefer bar charts, you can swap over to bar charts as well. These are swing trading candidates unless noted otherwise. So we are going to be defaulted to the daily chart, but this little drop down will give you time frame options. Maybe you want to look at it on the hourly chart for stop loss placement, or see if there's an entry that you like on the intraday. Maybe you want to look at the longer term, look at the weekly chart. You can manipulate that through that drop down as well. Up here, you will find the trend line tool where, this is a, breakout candidate, right? So they got a very clear top. At one time that they stuck their nose above it, right? Very, very quickly, and were slapped back down. So very clearly established top that's formed here on this stock, right? So I just can make it stand out. If I don't think it's super applicable right now, but sometimes, of course, it will be. You can also draw the, the actual trend line itself, just depending on what you're needing to do on the chart. So that's going to be your trend line tool in there. This one right here is where you can prep out long or short positions. So this is a bullish breakout candidate, right? So I'm not going to get super specific, but just to show you how this works, I would like to set my order up, but I'm just going to say 86.98 because that's where my mouse is, above that resistance level, right? I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, you know what, they've got a pretty, open space. This fight's tough and they might not win it, but if they do win this fight, there's really not a lot of resistance. We have some old support right here at about 80, what is that, about 89, and then some old resistance at about 92. So that might be the way that I'm going to target this thing, right? So I can kind of say, okay, well, as this trade is set up right now, for every dollar I'm risking, if my stop loss was right here and this was my target price and that's where I got in, I'm risking $1 to get $2.29. So my risk to reward is over 2 to 1, which for most traders is a rule for directional trades. I certainly is for me. I'm certainly not alone in that end. Well, maybe we don't like our stop loss there. Maybe we say, we need to get our stop loss below this low here. We want to get our stop loss just a little bit below that low, whatever our actual number is. We're not going to worry too much about that. So that's what our trade would look like. Well, maybe that's my target, right? But maybe you are saying, well, I'm trying to work up to $89 for my first target, right? Or maybe that's all you're trying to accomplish is just to get to that first, next challenge, if you will. Well, you can see if that's what you're doing, you're risking $1 to get $1.05, not a great risk to reward. Well, maybe you say, well, what would I need, right? What would I need to get a 2 to 1 in this case? About right there, right? Would I be comfortable? Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow I would. Maybe if I go into the intraday and look at the hourly, I would, right? Just going to be ways for you. It's really helpful. It's going to do the math for you. It's going to help you visualize the trade. It is a really helpful tool. In my opinion, it saved me countless hours over the years. I definitely am a big fan. Of course, there's going to be that for both the long and the short position as well. Just a couple of things that, if you're going to be using these charts, I think those are some of the big things to be aware of. I always like to spend a couple of minutes going over that. for members of the team, because we are going to be building these into our into our stuff each and every week. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of the reports. Again, you can expect all of these by Saturday afternoon, so you can work through them before the market opens back up. I would always suggest starting with the newsletter, and then take a priority approach to it. Right? If you're primarily a cash flow trader, you're probably going to the option report first. If you don't trade options, you're probably going to the stock report first, right? But there's going to be something, no matter what you're trading, in all of them, right? For potentially something to learn, something to add to your watch list. But don't be afraid to prioritize. We have to, but I always would suggest starting with the Tackle newsletter. Personally, I think we want to stick with that top-down approach because that makes a big difference in our trading. Hopefully that explains those reports for you, a big part of what we're doing for our community each and every week. As we get wrapping up here, the Tackle today is our daily email. If you would like it and don't have it already, in the Tackle today, you can sign up for the daily email, get that delivered to your inbox. If for whatever reason you prefer to read it on this page, you can do that as well. It will get to your inbox faster than it will get posted to this page, but you can read about it in here as well if you prefer to do so. If you ever have any questions about any of our products, you can find more information in the store, but you can also always send us an email, team@tackletrading.com. We're more than happy to answer your questions and help you out, whatever it might be. We are active on the different social media platforms, be it Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. So if you're using any of these platforms, I certainly invite you to join us. I guess another way to stay in touch with members of the team, right, on social media platforms that we're using anyway. If you're not using them, that's okay. No shame in that. But if you are, why don't you come over and join us? Our YouTube channel, we're in a lot of ways, I think, known most for our live streams because we do a lot of them, and that's great. But we also have a whole bunch of videos on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of tutorials, walkthroughs, how-tos, thinkorswim tutorials. We're always adding more. So again, invite you to join us on any of these social media platforms that you are using. If you're doing the YouTube thing, we of course always do appreciate a subscribe and hitting that little notification bell. It really does help us out with the whole YouTube algorithm thing. So certainly would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. We've got a webinar next Monday night on portfolio design as well. You can set a reminder if you have subscribed. Going to be awesome. Portfolio design is a really important topic that not every trader's fully wrap their head around. Should be a really good webinar next Monday night at 8:30. I think Coach T is going to do that. It's going to be really, really good stuff. All right. Well, as we get wrapping up, one thing that as I was talking, I just was like, I forgot to bring this up, and I don't want to forget to bring it up. And that is our Wednesday night YouTube webinar. On Wednesday nights at 7 Eastern, right here on our YouTube channel, we do our Trade Masters webinar where a couple of coaches will come together with the community with 3 different trade ideas, both Delta and Theta trade ideas, and bounce them off of one another. Members of our community will vote for whose trade idea they liked the best. And at the end of the show, the winner is declared the trade master for the week. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way, by Wednesday afternoon, by Wednesday, the close, we might need to add a few new stocks to our watch list, right? Or some new ideas to us. So really it's to help kind of build up that midweek watch list. And again, share ideas with each other and members of our team. We're doing that live on YouTube on Wednesday nights at 7 Eastern. And then shortly after that, we come back over here at Tackle Trading for our Wednesday night Traders Lounge. You'll find that in the events calendar at 8:30 Eastern on Wednesday night, where we can address in more detail any questions that folks might have had on any of the setups that or trade ideas that we were talking about in our Trade Masters webinar, as well as just anything else that you might need some help with. So again, maybe you're can't get to that morning Traders Lounge because you're at work. Maybe you can get into that Wednesday night lounge and get your question answered. So didn't want to forget that one. I don't know how I did. I usually don't, but we caught it at the end. So that's what we are doing here on Wednesday nights. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this gave you a better idea of what we're doing here at Tackle Trading, our approach to the markets, where you can find all of this stuff. We want to make sure that There's something for everybody. And I always tell folks to don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. A brand new trader uses tackle trading a little different than somebody who's been trading 6 months, who probably uses a little different than somebody who's been trading for 6 years. That's just okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. You're going to have your own priority systems. If you're a brand new trader, things like the 7-step guide to trading, technical analysis 101, the newsletter. Maybe you're not ready for options, so you're sticking with, stock trades while you're getting comfortable with stuff. If you're primarily a cash flow trader, you're probably going to spend a lot of time on the cash flow club on Thursday nights, and with Coach Mark, in the commodity report, and Coach Tyler in the option report. Typically, it's okay to have a priority, right? And it's also okay to step a little bit out of our comfort zone and learn something new, or at least introduce ourselves to something new to see if it's something that we would like to add to our trading repertoire. So don't be afraid. Don't let anything intimidate you. If you have questions, ask. There's a lot of ways to reach out, be it in an email, in our shows, over in the Discord, in the Facebook group, in the Clubhouse. There's lots of ways. And if you ever need something, reach out. We're all in this together, right? We're all on the same side. Again, I can't make your trades for you. You can't make your trades for me. But if there's something I can do to help you, I'm more than happy to do so. All you have to do is ask. And I think that goes well beyond me. I think that goes for all the other coaches here at Tackle Trading, as well as members of our awesome community. The community is the best part, in my opinion, of Tackle Trading. It's fantastic to be around such awesome people who speak my language, who are going through the same stuff that I'm doing, that I can bounce ideas off of. I hope you find a great home here at Tackle Trading. I think you will. I think you'll have a great time. You'll learn a lot. You'll meet some awesome traders as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for your time. I'll let you get out of here. I wish you a happy holiday season. Trade smart. And I will see you probably one way or another in the not too distant future. But until then, have a wonderful night, and I will see you later. Good night, everyone.